Welcome. My name is Carlo from Men's Eagle Council. This little segment is going to talk about how the parent begins a conversation with his son or her son. And so basically there's going to be a parental declaration. So basically each parent is going to tell their son, they're going to make declare to them something specific and positive, such as something they admire of their son, something they respect, something they appreciate, something they trust, something they honor or love, enjoy, treasure, or make him or her happy. Now, you don't have to remember all those things. When we actually do these skill set sessions, and you do your homework in our program, you'll have this all written out. But for today, I'll give you an example of what it might sound like. And by the way, the declaration is something you create with your language. Language and speaking is extremely important in the sense of we create with our language. So what it is, a declaration does, it's called into existence by your saying it. For example, I promise. Promise only exists when I say it, I promise. And of course I have to follow up on it to actually give it follow through and meaning and stand by my word, but it's called into creation when I promise. So when I say I admire something about somebody, that admiration is called into being on that instant. That's why it's very powerful to do this. So here's an example to jump right into it. And by the way, this is a little bit structured. We're setting this up a little bit like training wheels. So until you have the skill set and you can ride without training wheels on your bicycle, it's useful to get in the groove, and then you can let them all go and be free format. So here's a structured version like this. A son says to father says to the son, son, I admire your talent for making music with your guitar. And the son says, thank you, Dad. And he repeats back what he heard. So what I heard you say is that you admire my guitar music. And the father says, thank you. Yes, that's correct. I admire your guitar music, and I also admire your talent for making music. And the son says, thank you. What I heard you say is that you like my music and my ability or gift to play the music. He says, yes, that's correct. So there's a little repeating back as to, so that the person who listens to it, the son, actually repeats back what he heard. And if the father or the mother has something to add or edit on that or amplify, they have the opportunity to do it. So it requires deeper listening skill and requires some feedback. And also the thank you is a nice acknowledgement. It personalizes it and adds to the communication. So this may, as I say, it may seem a little awkward in the beginning, but hang in there with us and try it out, and then you can jump into it as you want. Thank you. Son, we're going to start our practice now, okay?
All right.
Okay, so I like it when you take time out to help your mom.
Okay, thanks. What I hear you saying is you like that I give mom support.
Yes, thank you. And I also admire how you stand up for your friends.
Thanks. You appreciate that I support my friends and I stand up for them when it's called for.
Yes, thank you. I do. And finally, I respect all the good things that you do.
Thanks. Wow, what does that mean? I hear you saying all the good things, but what does that mean?
Well, like, for example, showing respect for your sister, and also how you take school seriously.
Okay, that helps, thanks. So, you like how I treat Jenny, and that's easy because I care about her, and then also that I don't blow off school.
That's correct. Thank you, and thanks for listening.
Sure, Dad. Thank you. Hi, I'm Bruce, and I work with Carl in MEC. We just gave you a situation of a structured conversation that was designed to create trust between the father and son. Now, in this rather structured conversation, it is important for the father to take the initial risk of being open with the son. In most teenage and parent relationships, parents are perceived as having the power, and the kids are looking for ways to get more power. So by dad actually talking about what he admires in the young man, it creates an atmosphere where the son can begin to think, okay, maybe I want to test out his intent. Now, saying something that's positive helps engender trust. The young man is hearing something specific, and it's important that it's specific. You remember in a situation where Dad said, I like all the good things you do, and the young man was curious, like, well, what does that mean? And oh my God, how many are there, and do I have to live up to all of them? So by the specificity that Dad used, the young man is clear about what the issue is that Dad is saying is strong. In the process of the young man having to restate what dad has said, it creates a two-way conversation. This isn't a typical conversation where dad is coming from Mount Olympus and declaring law and the kid is just sitting there and suffering through it. No, this is a two-way process. There's a responsibility on the dad to speak specifically about a positive trait in his son, but it's also incumbent upon the young man to be able to restate it so it's clear that dad has been heard. And one of the examples where dad said, all the good things you do, the young man had no idea what that meant, and so he basically put it back on dad to clarify, and dad had a chance to do that. Again, by the adult taking the risk of setting a stage where the conversation can be positive, it creates more trust. Most teens are going to be suspicious of adults talking to them because they see it again as talking down to them. Dad's specificity makes clear what he admires in his son, and there's no ambiguity about that, and the son can sit with that. So this is a way of trying to recap our purpose in showing that structure and encourage you to try it.